so the Earth is in trouble, you know. In just 6 billion years.
Already today, I think, from the Trump, I think the Earth is in trouble.
Yeah, but the sun will stop emit light and energy. I mean, in 6 billion years later. Yeah. But imagine you wake up the next morning and oops, the 6 billion years just flew away. Then the catastrophe is coming next month. So imagine, what do? You just enjoy yourself for 1 month, or you try to do something, or you make plans?
In 1 month, I think I would just enjoy myself. Huh? I don't think I have so much capability of saving the Earth as far as I'm just one human, I guess. So I think I would just get some nice food, go to nice places, maybe people I love. Something like this.
That's also a strategy.
Yeah.
So we are in Amsterdam actually.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to ask that why this name Terry Bleu is coming from, because you are not Terry, and I remind myself every time, okay, don't call Terry.
That's also the game, no? It's like an alter ego that I created at some point. In the beginning it was called Terrible, like the word terrible. Of like also playing with like misprinting and doing things badly, as like I still consider screen printing and riso printing kind of a bad printing technique, as in it's not so easy to control, let's say. So a lot of misprints are part of the process. So that was a little bit the idea. Then also came up the idea of not signing my own name under everything I publish or print. So it was kind of like a alter ego that sticks.
It's interesting because terrible meaning that it's wrong, it's not good. But basically art is kind of series of this not good thinking, because every good art needs at least, I don't know, 100 bad
tries for sure. Yeah.
So in this meaning, nothing is terrible or Terry Bleu.
Yeah.
but everything is just part of the process. I mean that probably it was Leonardo, the only one who just did something, and it's already go to the
No, it was a lot of for sure. Also in the beginning I got just a screen print table that I got for free from an old squat that they were throwing away, and then really old frames with like the frame and the mesh were like already dirty of old prints. So every time I was trying to print something, you always see the ghost images from the previous prints. And then I got a riso machine, really small RN A4 format, that was printing like also terrible with like 3 colors. I think I had red, green and blue. At some point I had yellow, but like very few colors, and I was always fixing it, everything was going. So then there was also like kind of like this play with like there was nothing good we could do in that studio in the beginning. And then more tries and error. Then I also find out you can clean the screen, you can change the mesh. So also like the learning process was fun in the beginning. And I think I did 4 years that Brent is with me here. And he also works a lot with screen print. He's a graphic designer, so he's also more precise. So the two of us, we also make better prints.
It's always a question of the colors, because for example in Paris sometimes you see that there are like 100 colors drums.
100 not.
Okay, maybe not.
I think it's 32, 36 maybe.
Yeah, but a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Are you satisfied? I mean, with the color range, because the riso printing meaning is that you have only limited colors, sometimes 4 maximum, and you have to choose the best
which
matching
tone you want,
which tone.
But now we have 24 and I actually just got 2 extra ones, and there was the question, okay, do we keep them 26 and which color do we want? And then I was also thinking like I don't have space anymore to store them. I mean I can of course put them somewhere, but then I was also thought that I don't need so many colors, so I will just sell them to a friend that also have a machine and just has like a few colors, because she needs it more than I do. And I think 24, I'm quite happy with what I have. And you can also mismatch, so you can also print 2 colors to create a third one. So like this in between, we wanted to have a bronze which would be in between like orangey brown. And then we thought, to have such a, no one will actually use it, so it would just dry. So yeah, for now I use a print orange and brown together, and it makes this like breaking color, let's say. So you can also combine them, which is also the fun of riso. So I think 24 is a good number. I'm not trying to fight with Oscar. I think he has 36. I don't know, something insane.
Yeah, but it's not a game. You are not a better artist or a better printer if you have more colors.
No, but it's always a bit this joke, like how many colors do you have? And with screen print you can just mix and match your own color. So that's also, if we really need something specific, we usually screen print. Which actually I love more doing than riso printing. If I could do everything with screen print, I would like that more. But of course, you cannot print 300 copies, 200 pages.
So actually what I love that it's a kind of good network what you have. I mean that, okay, the world is small and maybe everyone knows each other. You know Oscar in Paris and maybe Maxime and some others.
Yeah.
Just mentioned. So, well, if I don't know anything about riso, maybe I coming from university background, because universities also has a lot of machines.
Yeah, printing. Yeah.
But otherwise, how can I notice that okay, there is this kind of thing?
Good question. I think that's just something you get to know, no? Or you stumble on. Like I personally did some internships in Marseille, where I used to work with Paquito Bolino, that runs Le Dernier Cri, the screen print workshop, and then he organizes a fair called Vendetta that I also participated in, but also as a visitor, just going there and meeting a lot of mostly French people then, the time there, and yeah, getting to know some people that do very specific screen printed things in Paris or in Marseille or in Nantes, and then seeing this scene, and then of course more you look, more you find these things. That's also the idea that I have with the bookshop that we have here, Terry's bookstore, which is quite trying to get it as large as possible, a range from people doing zines and screen printed riso booklets, zines, artist books, from all over the world. So every time we go to a book fair, we try to bring them back here. So now I went to Japan and we brought back a lot of books from Indonesia, from Vietnam, Thailand. So also like bringing back those books here makes them that some people will see them and get to know them. That's also a bit the idea of the community. That is not just our books that we try to push there, but also like what's going on a bit. That's at least the idea. Yeah, trying to find a spot, at least in Amsterdam, where you have access to these books. Because for example, the book from Indonesia, I was trying to get them for a couple of years, but the shipping costs are insane, so it's more expensive, the shipping, than the zines. So this didn't make sense, and now that I just brought them back with me, then it's...
But I think it's also part of the game, because in the zines, it's already coded that it's usually it's cheap materials, or just don't want to go to the big printing houses and do shiny 300 grams paper. But rather you go at home or coloring at home or something like that. So it's a kind of you can do it yourself things. And that's what I also like in that field, that you don't have you have to be a millionaire to buy a book. You don't have to be a millionaire to do a book. You just have something to express, and then you do it. In a weekend in your home, or coming here. How often is that when new people come here and ask that, okay, can I use the riso machine for my stuff?
Well, it depends also what you want to do. Like you say, you can just draw one book in your house and then you don't want to spread it, so then actually what the original is enough, no? And then if some people just want to copy it one more time for a friend or something, then we always send it to our neighbor Radreier, which are here since the 80s. They squatted the building, and then they do offset and digital printing, so they can do anything up to, let's say, 25 copies. in digital, and then more than 500 they would offset printing, and we are a little bit in between, so we could do 25 minimum. So it depends a little bit of an idea how to distribute it, or if they just want to do one copy, then usually we send them to the neighbor. And for distribution, we also take often books that people print here, or that they print themselves. A few copies here. That's a start. Yeah. And some people have like a crazy idea. Oh, I want to make 1,000. It's my first book, and then we're like, whoa. We start with 50 and see what you do with it. So usually 25 is kind of our minimum for books, and up to 100 or something.
I was simply amazed when I saw your connections. It's going around the earth, really, like from Prague to Brasilia, and I think it's coming from the book fairs. No, you participate a lot in book fairs.
Yeah, it's funny. I know a lot of people that I met in book fairs from all over, but I never actually went to their house. So it's funny. Like it's we always meet in different cities, do book fairs. And then, of course, after the book fair is actually the most important, which is going to have a drink or having a conversation or a coffee in the morning or a walk. And so usually I stay 1 or 2 days before, after the fair, to visit studios of artists or publishers. That's also so interesting. Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of the the whole printing publishing game. It's traveling and meeting people, instead of just staying here in Amsterdam, where I wouldn't, just do your own thing in your own cave. That's also a way of doing it, and I think a lot of people do it also very well. It's also fine. But I like to discover things, travel, and also that inspire my own work also quite often. So I think that whole thing, I'm quite happy with it.
So what I'm doing is Paris-Budapest metro, and it was interesting because you was in Budapest in the Ukmukfukk zine fair.
Yeah.
It's a small underground art and book fair.
Yeah.
So how did you know that this exists?
Well, it was the first time I went, actually 2 years ago, and I think there is so many different range. So I always try to go a bit to each of them, and sometimes I just don't go back, or sometimes I didn't like the city so much, or sometimes I really like this fair, but the sales were not so good, or this one was good sales, but it was very boring. So I always try to also make it a bit exciting for myself, like where do I want to go? So I've never been to Budapest before, and the fair was really nice actually, like really beautiful people, nice connections. And that's actually why I want to go back. So sometimes I go to London to the Tate Modern, and then just after we went to Budapest, and then go to different fair like this. I think it's quite interesting. Instead of just staying to the bigger fair, it's nice to also meet. And I think a lot of people from Budapest don't have the chance to go to London or New York. So I think if by not going there, then I would never have met them maybe. So also important.
Yeah, I mean historically, people from Hungary is not traveling a lot. Now I think it's different, but not everyone traveling, of course.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So you have a recent publication by Rouge Seoul. Rouge Seoul is the title. Yeah. Okay. So Sehan Park and André Deren. So two artists reflect on each other's work.
Yeah.
So how this collaboration started?
This one was actually the idea. I was talking to Sehan for quite some time. We wanted to make a book maybe 5 years ago or something. And then she got busy, me too. So depending on the artist, sometimes it just happens in 2 weeks that we make a book, and sometimes it takes years. In Sehan's case, it took quite some time. And then they approached me this summer. I think it was in June when I went to Fanzine Paris. They came from Strasbourg to Paris, and they did this zine on their own, I think, last year. And they just made 50 copies, and they wanted to make it a bigger edition to distribute. So we worked on this for the Unlimited art book fair in Seoul, which the book is inspired by Seoul, as she comes from there. So it was also about the autumn season, which was actually the season also of the fair, so it was very nice to release it for the fair.
I'm already sorry for this question, but do you understand this thing? Because I understand the images, of course, but then you have small like staples or small elements in a kind of range. I don't really get it. What is it? But maybe you can.
No, I had this conversation with Sean also. That is still quite abstract, and I think André depicts very well also the scenery, the quietness, and the colors of Seoul. And I think what Sean was trying to do is also have this kind of abstract stories of people passing, living. So like the busyness of the people compared to the quietness of the painting, I think they reflect very well together. And also their style is so different, but also in a way similar of the somehow abstractions also. It's also almost a catalog, because the original works were displayed in a frame with a passepartout around, with the drawing of Sehan on the passepartout and André inside the frame. So they were also like playing back and forth, giving a story that everyone could imagine around each frame. Yeah.
Okay, maybe another topic. I think historically, before Brexit, that was London was the kind of ultimate center of art. But I think with the Brexit is they losing the position. So a lot of people go to Paris and some to Amsterdam and to other places. So we are in Amsterdam. How international is that, or is it changing over the years?
I think Amsterdam is very international, almost too international, as the Dutch people always complain that not so many people speak Dutch anymore. And I think that's changing a lot also. I think a lot of people that used to live in London then came to Amsterdam because of the internationality, compared maybe to Paris, which is more maybe French based. Yeah, I would say. I don't know Paris so well actually, but
you are also French. You have to know Paris, I think.
No, I think I've been like 4 times to Paris in my life, only with Oscar. No, I'm from Avignon and Marseille, so I spent 7 years in Marseille before coming here. Internationality, I think Berlin is also quite a big city still. Brussels also developing a lot. And Amsterdam, it's definitely also very international, becoming a little bit too crowded maybe, in a way that it's super hard to find a house and a spot in Amsterdam, which becomes quite a big problem now also for people coming here. There's always like some underground very nice scene of exhibition, books. In Amsterdam I was also always inspired by Ukmukfukk, this bookshop. I don't know if you know it. It's not the first art bookshop in Amsterdam, but I think the second. They now still have a space since the 80s here, and they collect zines that they made, that they published, because there are 3 artists that started it. 1 German, 1 Icelandic woman, and 1 Dutch lady, I think. And they started this in the 80s after the art school, and then also wanted to have a space for art books. And they have actually a museum, I think, almost now. Also very inspiring. So there is like this kind of like places that are very specific to Amsterdam for me, that I love a lot. The culture of the bars also very I think also in Brussels you have it a lot. I think that makes me feel good.
If you go back to the Marseille years, I know better. I know Montpellier and Nice, École de Nice, and all these things. But Marseille and Aix-en-Provence was missed so far. If I go there, what is the must-see place in Marseille?
In Marseille? You need to go in the summer and swim.
But for that I go to Porquerolles, or I don't know, Toulon.
Of course. Marseille, I love the food also. There's also Photokino, a very nice gallery bookshop where we exhibited also actually. And there's very small places. Le Dernier Cri also, the screen printing publishing also bookshop. But again, I wouldn't see myself living there now anymore. I feel like by living here I also kind of created this network of work, so I can live here and manage to travel and somehow survive. I feel like if I would be in Marseille I would have a better lifestyle maybe, but I wouldn't be able to survive from what I do, I think. Also I sit a lot with the bookshop in Amsterdam. People come here and then spend 50 or 100 euro in books as presents or for themselves, and I think in Marseille I actually never really seen that. people like don't have so much money, they want to keep it low, and they are interested, but they don't support the community so much. So then it also makes it hard to sustain that. So I feel like a bit stuck in this luxury position.